Hello everybody, and how you been? Yesterday I saw the new Richard Gere film, Arbitrage. And I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I'm going to give it a 7. It's, again, it's a difficult film. I feel like I want to talk about more of the state of film than anything. I've just been seeing all of these cynical and hopeless, but nonetheless true films recently. That's a reflection of our current state of being. As always, art is a reflection of the time, and vice versa. But this is another, cynical statement on the state of affairs in America. And what are we going to do about it? So, again, well made, but difficult to watch. Difficult subject matter. It's not something you're going to want to see multiple times just because it's, it's thoroughly depressing. It's about, I guess, a billionaire. If you have $400 million to throw around, I guess technically you could still be a multimillionaire, but most likely you're a billionaire. I don't know. I'll call him a billionaire. Richard Gere's character is a billionaire. He's in trouble. We never are quite sure of the trouble. We as the audience find out how deep he is, along with everyone else, so we don't know. It's pretty much a mystery. It's like we pretty much know that he's a bad guy with no morals or sense of what is right and wrong, because we see half of his actions, and the half of the actions that we do see are deplorable. But it turns out that we only know half the story. So we have this billionaire. He's in financial trouble. We're not sure of what, but he just feels constant pressure. He has a family. He has a wife, kids, grown kids. He has a mistress, a talented young artist. One night, they are escaping the city and their normal lives and driving on the country roads late at night. He falls asleep. She dies. She dies in the wreck. And instead of, doing anything semi-responsible, he doesn't, and does everything wrong that a person shouldn't. So it's basically about this billionaire trying to rise above the law. That's in a nutshell what it is. And he's trying to rise above the law, trying to get that, swept under the rug, as well as get deeper and deeper in with this financial strife and trying to sell his company, and that's, basically it. Just trying to watch a piece of slime move through the fingers of everyone who tries to grip him, just tries to get a hold of him. He just slips through his fingers. The acting is great across the board. Richard Gere, I'm not a big fan of Richard Gere. I've never have been a big fan of Richard Gere. I think sometimes he can be downright terrible. I've only really liked Richard Gere in one movie that I can recall, and that was a few years ago, and that was called The Hoax. I was, looking forward to this film because I thought it would be very similar character work to what he did in The Hoax, and I guess it is. I prefer The Hoax as a film. If you haven't seen The Hoax, it's basically about an exquisite liar. It's a better film. I like it a lot more. So please check out The Hoax if you enjoyed this film. So we've got Richard Gere. as the billionaire. He's really good here. He's got a talent, for looking ill at ease. He's so, he's handsome. He's one of our great leading men, I guess. He's my mom's favorite actor. My mom's absolutely in love with him. So there's that, but he is perfect for this role because he's got to look perfect while being, the ugliest person in the world on the inside. And that really comes across a lot of the time. You can really, see that. And you could also just watch him snap under the pressure. I mean, it's a really good performance from him. And again, I don't like Richard Gere, and I thought this was probably one of his best performances ever. Just for me, like right under the Hoax. I'm sure that he'll at least get an Oscar nomination. He did for the Hoax, I believe. I don't know if he's going to win, but they always make a big hubbub about how he's never won. So I don't think he's going to do it again with this film, but he was very good. Susan Sarandon is his long-suffering wife. She's very good. She's always very good. She's beautiful here. She's always beautiful. We also have Tim Roth. I haven't seen Tim Roth in a while, it feels like. He had that television show, but I haven't seen him too much. He plays a detective here. He's great. I love Tim Roth. I love seeing Tim Roth. He just is always agitated, is always on the edge of his seat. Here, he's the only good guy in the movie, and he breaks the rules too. Everyone in this film breaks the rules, with the exception of maybe the billionaire's grown daughter. She still has a heart and spine. No one else, has that. The cop breaks the rules, goes against the code, but to do good, to try and catch, all these greater wrongdoers, these people who are destroying lives. So, he breaks the rules too, but at least he does it to try and, beat evil. But it turns out, he gets in trouble more than anyone, really. So that's what's so difficult about it, is this is about billionaires getting away with murder, which sadly is I think commonplace in our time and age, and that's what's so difficult about it is it represents our current state, and that's depressing, but it's very well done. So it's just something that there's not too much hope here. There's not too much punishment. I mean, there is some, but and it hits them where they where it will hurt, but still it's not adequate. As is the real world. It's very true. It's very honest. Very straightforward. Even if it means, not having anything happy at all happen. I think I can remember his name correctly. This was written and directed, which always gives a point for me, by Nicholas Jarecki. I'm not 100% on that name, but I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't know that name. I don't know if this is a debut film or how many films he's done. I definitely don't recognize the name, but it's definitely, a really good screenplay. All the characters are really fleshed out. Again, the situations you wouldn't ever want to be in. And he just has a real ear. We get to see these behind-the-curtain business dealings. We get to see into a world that, we wouldn't, ever see and, ever want to see, really. And he gives us a glimpse into that. There's a lot of knowledge in the film. I can't say that it's like super flashily directed. It's pretty straightforward. Again, it tells a visual story very nice, but there's certainly no like individual style here, at least that I could tell. Just the best way to tell his own story that he wanted to tell, that he feels is important, especially as a reflection of this time and age. I don't really know what else to say other than, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very well acted, very well written film. And again, most importantly, honest. But it's just not fun. It's not fun, and I felt, weak after. I was like, what do I do? What can I do when things like this can happen in the world? So it's just not something you like want to experience over and over again. So I think I'm fine with giving it a 7. There you go. I think that's I've said all I've got to say about Arbitrage. It's a solid 7. Thank you very much.